Hey everyone, welcome back to Sfdc Panther. This is Amit, and in this video, we will talk about manual sharing and Apex managed sharing. So, in our previous video, we talked about how that sharing rules works and what are the different types of sharing rules. So, manual sharing is basically used whenever you wanted to share a record manually with your peers or colleagues. So, for example, you are working on any opportunity or a lead, and then you have no idea how to approach that opportunity or how to approach that lead to make them interested into your business, and the similar kind of opportunity your colleague has closed. They have already doing the business with that kind of opportunity. So what you can do is you can quickly share your opportunity record with them and then ask for the help. They can by doing that, what will be the solution is their colleagues or their peers will be able to see the record, and then they will be able to guide you in a better way to close that opportunity. The drawback with the manual sharing is that it is not available for Salesforce Lightning. If you want to know how you can do that, or how to do the workaround for that, there is a blog post on Sfdc Panda Sfdc Panda blog, which is by Narendra Singh. So if you want to go ahead, you can just go ahead and start learning, or you can just see the workaround for that. I will also give you the link in the description of this video. To share a record with the help of our manual sharing, we just need to click on the sharing button on the record detail page in Salesforce Classic. That's why we are mentioning in Salesforce Classic. When we talk about Apex Managed Sharing is something whenever we are trying to achieve some kind of very complex calculation and then share the records with some sort of users. For example, you have some requirement where you are first you need to check if you are able to requirement if you are able to complete that requirement, achieve that requirement with the help of the sharing rules that you have available. If not, then only you will prefer that option for Apex managed sharing, because it involves some sort of coding. And to what we do is we have to insert the share record with the help of our Apex. That might be either Apex trigger or Apex class. And one thing that we need to keep in mind is Apex sharing requires modify all permission for that particular object. If that permission is not enabled for you, you will not be able to share that record. Now let's quickly talk about the example. What should be the best suited example that I found for this Apex managed sharing is there is an organization and they are working for hiring. I know that every company have some HR people who are doing the hiring for the candidate. So what happened initially when HR contacts to a candidate, what they do is they have the access to that candidate and their information till them until unless the interview has been scheduled with the interviewer. If the interview is scheduled, then only they share the record with the interviewer. The record means the candidate information, their resume and some basic information as well. So if we consider OWD for candidate is private because they don't want everyone to refer the candidate information until unless the interview is scheduled. So what will happen is as soon as HR manager will create the interview record, then they will share the candidate with the interviewer who is going to take the interview. We will see the working example for this Apex managed sharing. Now let's see what is the example code for Apex managed sharing. Suppose that we have an object called candidate. So the share object is going to be candidate underscore underscore share. We'll talk about how to define the share objects. And then in the custom objects, how you will see the information, what are all the fields available. We are also going to see from where you can find the information about the share. First, let's quickly talk about how the share objects are going to be created for you. So we are here. Suppose that you are going to share an standard record, which is an account. So what you have to do is you have to use object name and then the word share. This is going to be the share object for your account. If the object is lead, it is going to be lead share. And the information from where you can get, I'll quickly show you within a few seconds. And then if your object is a custom object, like we have candidate, it is going to be candidate, then double underscore and then the word share. This is your object, and this is you can also find these details inside your Salesforce org. If you have some object like you have some object like invoice, you have like object like invoice line item. This is the label. So what what will be the share object for this? It should be invoice line underscore item, because we know that every single space gets replaced with an underscore, and then it should be share. So for example, if you have the label for your object like this, I can say this is the label of your object, okay, and then this is the API name of your object. Sometimes people used to do that, they remove the space from the API names. So if this is your the space of your API name, what will be the share object now? It will be invoice line item, which will be without any space double underscore share. So this is nothing. This is basically the API name of your object. That's how your share objects are getting generated. When your share objects getting generated, that is again a question, which is an interview question. We can say that when you get share object available. So for that, what you have is you have the answer, which is if the OWD for that object is either it is a private or it is public read only. These are the two cases when the share object will be available. We will see in the demo. Now let's quickly see how we can implement that. So we are here inside our Salesforce environment. We are talking about we talked about that HR application. We'll get into later on, but first let's quickly talk about the manual sharing, how manual sharing works. So we were talking we were playing around an object called error log. We are going to use that object for manual sharing. So if you see here, we have got this sharing button which is available for us. If I click on this, I can add multiple. I can even add a single user here as well. Unlike sharing rules, we were not able to add. We had to create a public group, but here we can add public groups, roles, subordinates. Everything is there. The extra thing is that you got is the users. It can be community users or your users, and then you can just quickly add those users, provide the level of access, and then click on save. So because there is one is already added, so I think this is the record owner. If you click on share, we should be able to share that. Now you can see that these are the complete list you are going to see over here. Now if we go to sharing settings, because we wanted to see when that object gets available, right? First thing, before we go there, I have just opened my developer console. I'm going to show you how you can get that share object information. So go to file and then click on open resource, and then you just need to type, if you wanted to get the share information about the object called error log, I'm just going to say error log, and you can see the object share object is available over here. Double click on that, and then you can see these are the fields which are available. Parent ID is the field which is going to hold the record ID. The record is which has been shared. User or group ID is something which is going to hold the user or your group ID or role ID. Access label is, it is going to be either read or edit. Read is going to be having the value for read only. Edit will be for read and write. And then row cause will always going to be manual whenever you are sharing it manually. Otherwise you will also see the row cause over here, which is nothing, which is the reason it is saying that it is a owner, it's a manual sharing. This is a guest sharing rules, again it's a manual sharing, and then object sharing rules. So you are going to see the reason why that record has been shared with that particular group, user, roles, whatever the record has been shared with. Now we have got this error log object, right? As soon as if I go over here in my sharing settings and then try to change the OWD for this error log. Okay, let's quickly do that. I'm just going to change the OWD for error log, and this time I am going to make it public read write for both internal and external, because if the OWD is private or public read only for any either default internal or external, your record object, the share record object, will be available. So we need to make sure that the value for OWD for both the options is set to public read write. Now we can see here it is public read write. Okay, as soon as I go here, refresh the page, because I wanted to see that there is the exact value which is available to me. Again, I'm just using Control Shift O for PC. If you are in Windows, you can use Command Shift O, and then just go to error log. Okay, this is still available over here for us. Let's wait because there is something calculation is going on. Okay, now this error log is gone. We have got some sharing rules. So for now, I'm going to delete. There might be reason for that. Say, because of that sharing rules, these their objects are available to us. So if we see here, and if you go to, still that object is available. Okay, let's get back to that record and see what is happening over here. Now there is, we don't have access to that object. Okay, click on cancel over here. Okay, I think I need to open that record. I just opened. First thing, that sharing button got disappeared. Even if you go to page layout, and then if you see here, the sharing button is added, but you are not able to see. The reason is the OWD for that is public read write. Now everyone who has access to that object can access that record. Now let's again try to refresh this and see if that object is available or not. If that is available, again this is a new learning for me. That might be has been changed in a recent release, but first let's check that. Yeah, that's here. So basically this is again a new learning for me. I was not, when I did this earlier, it was appearing and disappearing due to this. So that is again a new learning for me, and I think for you all as well. So that's how your manual sharing works, and the sharing buttons appears and disappears. That is also a interview level question which might be asked to you by the interviewer. Next thing that we have is, we have talked about apex managed sharing. We also discussed the scenario, which scenario we are going to implement over here. We have got, I have this complete recruiting application which I have set up over here in my org. You can also go ahead and install that application, the package which is available in App Exchange, and you can also get from the trailhead. You can just say that Salesforce recruiting application. You can say Salesforce recruiting trailhead, recruiting app. This is what, and then just go to this build a data model for that, and then what you need to do is create object. Okay, yep, let's see if that is somewhere we got that manage package link. Otherwise I will give the, yeah, here it is. So you can just what you can do is just copy this sorry, you can just copy this link. No, open this link, because this link is going to give you the package link from where you can install. Okay, install this installation package link. Okay, let's right click, copy this link, open over here, paste into somewhere notepad, and then what you need to do is you just need to copy up to here, the URL up to here, which is saying packaging, and then go to your Salesforce org. Okay, and then this is your base URL. Put that URL here which you have pasted, sorry, copied, and then hit enter. It is going to install this application for you. It will ask which user you wanted to install, either Salesforce admin or for all users. This is already installed for me. So you need to select all users, because we wanted to have the access both of the users, one by which we are testing and second which we are going to test again. So that's how you can get that manage package link. You can install, and then once you will installed, you will be able to see this position. This is the object where we can create all the positions which are open and for which a company is hiring. Under that position, you can see you have got interviewer, you have got new job posting, where you can post in various technical sites like LinkedIn, naukri.com, monster site, any other site. And then which is then you have new position which might be related. And if you open this job application which is related to a candidate, and then under that job application there is also a lookup which is new interviewer, you will not see this lookup under this job application. So what you need to do is you need to create a new lookup field on this object called interviewer, because this is what I have created by my own. Okay, now here you can see we have got candidate, we have got the position. So let's see, we have got candidate. I'm going to clone this for this demo. So I'll say let me quickly say Jim, and I'll say Jim Joe, that's it, and then save it. So this is the new candidate which I have created. Okay. Now if I go to sharing record, it should not be having any shared. This is only shared by that object which is the owner, by the user. Okay. Now what I will do is I will create a new job application for this user, because now what an HR person is doing is the HR has got the information to the candidate. They have spoke to that candidate, okay, at that response screen, and then they are creating a job application for that. They are attaching the job and the candidate with the help of a junction object, which is job application, a candidate and the position, and then save it. Now I need to schedule this interview to a particular interviewer after I have got the timings for that interview. So what I will do is I will create a new interview record over here, and this is my interviewer, which is employee. I can select the employee over here. I'm logged in as Amit Singh. I will select security control, the second user, and then this is the position, which position that I am the candidate is looking for is Salesforce CPQ architect. As soon as I click on save, this particular candidate, the candidate which is related to this job application, if we go here, we open that, this is C 0003. Okay, this is the candidate. It must be shared with the interviewer. Okay, for that what we have to do is, because this is something which is we are going to decide at a runtime, right? We cannot write a sharing rule for this, because sharing rule is not going to pick up the user which is there under the uh, we under this employee field for that object called interviewers, right? That is why we are going to write an apex ManualSharing. For that what we had is, I had a very basic class which is candidate share helper, candidate share handler. This class has a simple method which is an invocable method, which we are going to invoke from our flow builder. And this method is having a sorry this class is having a method called share candidate record. This is accepting the input parameters, which is a type of list candidate share. Candidate share is nothing, which is another inner class which is having few parameters, which is asking a candidate ID, which will be your parent ID, which candidate you wanted to share, and then user ID, what is like who is your employer, who is the user, who you are wanting that candidate should be accessible to, and then the access label, either it will be read or edit. Okay, now what I said, I used here, I'm getting the candidate record. Why I'm using list? Because invocable method always accepts list parameters, and they cannot accept more than one parameter. That is why we have to create this candidates here, the inner class, to in order to support the multiple parameters. Now we have got this information with the help of the very first record which is there inside this list, and stored into the object of the class candidate share information. And then by using the dot notation and the variable name, I'm just storing and preparing that object and then inserting that record over here. So this is very simple thing. This is even we have you have to do for custom objects. But when we talk about a standard object, like if I say account, right, then they have multiple fields. So before going and writing the code, just look at the information of your all the fields, like they have account access label, opportunity access label, case access label, contact access label. These are the extra fields. And then even instead of having parent ID, they have account ID. That will be same for if we talk about lead, right? Lead share, they will be having a lead ID and then lead access label. So these are the I can say these are for a standard object, but for custom object, this is a very simple code which you need to use. Next thing that we need to do is we need to develop a flow. So just go to quickly navigate to flows. From the search box, you can just quickly type flow and then click on this flows. Click on new flow, and we are going to write a record flow. Record flow will do that. It is going to automatically execute our flow whenever a record is created. So select this record triggered flow. Next, and then I'm going to use free from. If you wanted to use auto layout, you can use that. And then here you can see the trigger is saying a record is created after the record is saved. If you wanted to change it, you can change it. A record is updated, a record is created or updated after a record is saved. So I'm going to use this, which is automatically populated, because we only wanted to share a record when the record has been saved. Click on done. Choose the object. The object is interviewer. Okay. And then it is going to say that give me the criteria, what criteria you wanted to apply. So I'll say I wanted to say that if job application related to the interviewer is not null, so I'll say doesn't equal to null and use a global constraint over here and click on done. Next, what you need to do is just drag and drop this action. This action is going to give you the ability to call your Apex class. So I'm going to say here candidates here. From where I got this candidates here, go to your Apex class, and the label of your invocable method is the one that you need to search. And then I just say, where is that? Yeah, candidates here. I will say share candidate with interviewer. And I'm also going to put the description. Now you can see these are the parameters which are required. How these are required? Again, get back to your Salesforce Apex code, and you will see I have used required equal to true for these two variables, candidate ID and user ID. So use that. What candidate ID you need to send? So how you can access that candidate ID? First, let's see that. You are inside this interviewer. From interviewer, you can go to job application, and then from the job application you can go to candidate, right? So what we will do is we will go to job application and then from job application to candidate. First, let's go to job application. Okay, first we need to find the record, in which record we are working, and then from that record go to the job application, and then use this, select this underscore or1 which has that arrow, select that, and then you need to find a candidate and this time select the second one. Now we got that candidate. Which user we need to share is, again go back to your interviewer. Here you see that under the record itself there is a field called employee. So I just need to select, go to the record and then employee. This is my employer, sorry, user, which I need to share, and then also send the access label. So I'll say include that field and say read. This is my access label which I wanted to send, and then click on done. Attach this with using a drag and drop and you're good. Now what you need to do is just save this record. So flow label, it will ask, I'll say it is a record flow, and then what it is saying is it is saying share candidate with interviewer. Okay, so I'll just copy this and put into the description as well, and then save it. Once you have saved this flow, you just need to activate this. Your flow is now active. What you can do is, as you know that this APO3, which is the candidate, okay, not this is not the one. Okay, let's refresh this. This is our application, sorry, job application, which is having the candidate value is C, the candidate number 3, which is Jim Joe. Okay, and if you go to sharing, we don't see any other records over here. Now what we'll go do is we'll go ahead and save this record. Okay, so we didn't get any error in the flow. The owner is this, employee security control. If you go to your job application and then candidate, refresh this page, you are able to see that security control over here. So that's how your Apex Managed Sharing is going to work. Now there are few options for this Apex Managed Sharing. You might have used Apex Trigger, and then from trigger you might have called this method, where you have gone, you have done all these things, you have used all these information. But why we have used flow to develop this solution is because every time we are trying to build a solution, that solution must be reachable to the admin. That means admin can work on that solution. So every time when you uh, try to go for a solution for any problem, try to see if you can resolve it with the declarative tools that you already have. So this was it, and we already have that demo. Let's talk about a question answer that we already discussed in the session itself. A user is trying to share a record manually, but user is complaining that the share button is not available. What could be the possible reasons for that? First thing is that check the OWD that we already have seen in the demo. Then check the page layout if the sharing button is added, and then user must be in Salesforce Classic. Now let's quickly see here. One thing that the statement I have made is the sharing rules, the manual sharing doesn't work for Salesforce Lightning environment. So this is a button which is displaying for me in the Classic, but if I switch this to Salesforce Lightning, let's see what is going to happen for this record. It is going to open the same record, and you can see there is no share button. Even if you click on this drop down, there is no sharing button for that. So if you want to learn this, you have to refer that blog post that I have mentioned earlier in the video. So that's it for this video. Before I go ahead, please do like, share, subscribe, and press the bell icon for so that you can get the latest update from my YouTube channel. Thank you.